And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly, truly fantastic day today. Welcome back, my people. It is Monday, so it is time to give shout outs to the people who gave super thanks throughout the week. But before we do, as always, gotta give a shout out to the channel members. Shout out to Gary, aka G the Great One, Thanos Snap Feminism, Charles Hookah, In the Groove 56, Great Juice, The Real Siberius, The Real Heisenberg, Mary Lewis, Rike, Vernon Lee Warren, It's Not That Serious, Ant Weston, Keith Brazell, Chase 1738, Austin Casey, Eric C., Drum Jackson, Daryl Stewart, Adidas 20, Old Ludwig Drummer, Wayman Earls, Rick Claverley, Lil A, Multi Breezy Beat, Papa Yogito, Wizman Ballin, and Twins. Shout out to all of the channel members. Thank you all so very much for being members of the channel, and thank you all so very much for your continued support of the channel. And without further ado, let's get right into this, my people. First up, shout out to Swan Daily. This is coming from last week's What Viewers Think About the Duck, the Deer, the Leader of the 4-6 Kingdom. This is coming from last week, What Viewers Think About the Duck. He comes through with the $2 super thanks. He says, now we're comparing LeBron James at age 40 to MJ and Kobe. What do you think about the societal epidemic of arrested development? I'm in my early 30s now, and I feel like I'm slowly turning into my parents. However, many of my peers act like teenagers. Also, many YouTubers have been making videos, essays about elderly women trying to compete with young adults. The obsolescence of age-based expectations is so bizarre, perhaps unprecedented. Well, this is a fact. This is actually part of the big problem with society, is that people don't want to let go of their youth, is that people are trying well, part of that is also what has been a slow marketing campaign over the last couple of decades to make people more selfish, and then make people more selfish by thinking that everything in their life is about having fun, so to speak. Everything has to be exciting. And, even mentioning the older women trying to compete with younger women. And I would argue just in relationships, period. The problem is the term used to be settling down. It was called settling down because you understood that once you get in a committed relationship, that is what you are doing, settling down. You are no longer chasing fun and excitement. You realize that peace and stability comes with the cost. Peace and stability means that, yes, things aren't as exciting. Not that you never do anything exciting, but again, it's just part of growing up, understanding that life isn't always about fun. And, again, as always, when we are pointing these things out, we have to point to LeBron James as like, this guy is the definition of what we're talking about. This guy is the definition of not growing up. This guy is the definition of being completely self-centered and thinking everything is supposed to be fun. Again, my theme for the last couple of weeks has been talking about how LeBron James doesn't take the game of basketball serious, but the fact is he doesn't take anything serious except getting what he wants. He believes that he should get what he wants like a spoiled brat. But this is not just LeBron James. This is kind of where society is right now. Again, society is in a place where everybody is self-serving and believe that they can have their cake and eat it too. Believe that they should have their cake and eat it too. So, but anyway, Shout out to Swan Daily. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to BDs2 coming through with the $2 super thanks. This is coming from the same video. He says, we are witnessing the downfall of an athlete. His delusion and yes men around him is at an all-time high. I am genuinely concerned for his mental health when and if he retires. The attention addiction is clear. It could be a danger when the spotlight starts to dim. If, allegedly, the juicing turns out to be true, man, we may see the first man to fall from space onto Earth. Love the channel. You are the truth. Thanks so much for the $2 super thanks. This is kind of, this leads back to what I've been telling you LeBron James fanboys. Now, he says this about LeBron. He says, I am genuinely concerned for his mental health when and if he retires. Because, this guy clearly is addicted to the spotlight. And this is what I've been telling you LeBron James fanboys, to go ahead and get your, prepare now. Because I see you guys in the same light. You guys are so addicted and so tied to your king that when he inevitably falls, so will you guys. So if you're smart, you will go ahead and start detoxing from your false king addiction right now so that when it happens, the rug is not just snatched from under you. From when it happens, you would already been prepared for it, and it maybe won't hit you so hard. But LeBron James, again, this is what happens when your legacy is not built on a solid foundation. This is what happens when you have spent an entire career of people telling you you are something that you are not. When people are making you out to be more than you are, and when people have been making excuses for you. Again, LeBron James could have had a nice solid career and ultimately could have walked away looked at as one of the greats, even if he had never won a championship. Let me say that again. LeBron James could have had a solid career and been looked at as one of the greats, even if he had not won a championship. He could have been looked at with the same reverence of Charles Barkley and Stockton and Malone and Reggie Miller and a lot of the guys who didn't get championships. Had he gone about his career the right way, at least he would have been respected. But this is not the route that LeBron James chose. This is not the route that the NBA chose for LeBron James either. I feel like the NBA was just as invested in trying to manufacture a Michael Jordan as LeBron James was invested into trying to convince people that he was Michael Jordan without putting in the work, without getting the same kind of results as Michael Jordan. So this is when LeBron James finally retires, and when the spotlight finally dims on LeBron James, I believe is gonna have a really hard time dealing with it. He's gonna have a really hard time when eyes are not on him anymore. So fanboys, enjoy it while you can. Shout out to BDs2. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Next up, shout out to the Dr. 3196. This is coming from my LeBron James had some people fooled with the second decision. He comes through with the $2 super thanks. He says, this guy does not have an image consultant in his camp telling him to not make something that will show his horrific aging. He made an ad that was purposefully designed to mirror himself from 15 years ago, saying almost the same thing. We can see the horrible signs of aging Balco has done to his face. How is this a good idea? How is anything he does ever not stopped? Age 40 is really not even that old of an age in this era. True, he looks 60, and my dad is 70. Looks more handsome than this guy. This is stupid. Shout out to the Dr. 3196. Yeah, hey, I believe I said that in the video. Is LeBron James looks old in the video. I mean, and then we have to talk about, like I said, the fact that why would you want to make people remember something that you were so hated for? That also doesn't. It's like everyone has said, LeBron James doesn't have anybody in his camp to say, hey, this is not a good idea. Do you remember how much people hated you when you went to Miami? And you want to remind everybody of that? Do you remember how much people disliked you for that decision? Oh my goodness. Boy. Shout out to the Dr. 3196. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so much for the continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to In the Groove 56 coming through with the $10 super thanks. This is coming from the same video. He says, thanks as always. Your content has always shed light on the ridiculousness of this media fiasco. Retirement of the Duck is and has not become must-see TV. If at all possible, I'd like to see his documentary showing just how he dominated his era from his rookie year until now. I just watched on YouTube Michael Air Jordan, and I also tried Without Being Critical of the Duck, where throughout his career he dominated anything. Where are the highlights of him dunking on anyone? When has he been the main character that influenced fans to attend games no matter what city he's playing in? When has any team planned their game plan to stop him? He has had no rivalries to overcome, yet he's been awarded accolades that belong to his teammates. Yet he's not worthy, but his fanboys overlooked his mediocrity and continue to praise him. Every challenge as a basketball player he avoided, i.e. the dunk contest. Show me where he has dunked on anyone except Jason Terry. Show me where he has taken over a game and led his team to victory. His longevity is suspect and doesn't make a case as being the GOAT. How can you be the best all-around player when you weren't the best player in your era or the team they allowed to invade? His retirement came with the statement, that right there made me the GOAT. A farewell tour is something he's not looking forward to, but being the narcissistic person he is, reality is just a season away. Join Ringling Brothers as the universal clown and the court gesture of the 4 and 6 kingdom. Shout out to In the Groove 56. Something he mentioned in here, the highlights of LeBron James dunking on people. This is something that really stands out when you are contrasting him to Michael Jordan, even to Kobe Bryant, but especially Michael Jordan, is whenever they show LeBron James highlight reels, they show all these highlights of LeBron James dunking, of course, the same dunk over and over again, but it is always wide open. It's always wide open dunks. It's very rarely that you see LeBron James actually dunking through contact, actually dunking on people taller than him. Again, that's why I said we don't want to hear about Jason Terry fanboys. We don't want to hear about that. Go look at Michael Jordan highlights, and it's highlight after highlight of him dunking on 7-footers, of him dunking on people way taller than he is. But with LeBron James, it's always a wide open dunk. And I don't understand how you LeBron James fanboys don't, well, I do understand how you don't notice that, because you guys clearly aren't perceptive like that. But yeah, it's just a stark contrast. So yeah, everything he said in here is correct. It's like LeBron James has never been that leading force that drives a team to a championship. He's never been that. He's never been the sole force that from the start of a series to the end of a series, that he's been the driving force behind the championship. And so, yeah, I mean, we could go on and on about this. But shout out to In the Groove 56. Thank you so much for the $10 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to G the Great One. This is coming from my When Michael Jordan Almost Signed to the New York Knicks video. He said, salute Uncommon. I remember hearing about this a few years ago. Supposedly, MJ only used the Knicks as leverage to get what he deserved from the Bulls, and it worked. His agent gave them no time to think about it. Jerry was super cheap. If the Bulls refused to pay and Jordan ended up signing with the Knicks, I think they would have won 3 championships in a row, and MJ would have never retired at the end of the 98 season. As long as the Knicks owner was willing to spend who knows how many championships, MJ would have won with them, and how much longer he would have played. Possibly 4. We also most likely would have gotten the MJ Kobe finals possibly more than once as well. Ratings would have been through the roof. Now I'm starting to wish he would have went to the Knicks. Shout out to G the Great One. Yeah, like I think I said in that video, it would be hard to imagine Jordan actually leaving the Bulls, but I didn't even know that the Knicks had offered him. I think it said the Knicks offered him 18 or 20 million or something. But I didn't even know that this offer had taken place. And like I said, with the lineup that the Knicks had at that time, if Jordan had actually went to the Bulls, if Jordan had actually left the Bulls and went to the Knicks, they would have been running through some people for sure. They would have been running through some teams. But anyway, shout out to @G the Great One. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to Twin 811. This is coming from my LeBron James. Got sued by one of his fanboys, people. One of the people who's dedicated to LeBron James, who is dedicated in defending his despicableness on a daily basis. And, we all know that the second decision turned out to be a Hennessy commercial, but because people were speculating and assumed that he was going to announce his retirement, tickets prices skyrocketed, and a few of his fanboys went out and bought multiple tickets, and only to have the price drop as soon as they found out it was a Hennessy commercial. And yeah, one of his fanboys sued LeBron James for $800 and something. So hey, fanboys, again, let this be a lesson to you guys that you do ridiculous things and you follow ridiculous people, you're gonna get ridiculous results. But anyway, he says, what's up, Uncommon, in the chat? Maybe we should let up on the bum. I've never seen a 40-year-old look this old and stressed in my life. But in all seriousness, I hope this year is the year the NBA community comes together and begin the process of pushing him out. Adam Silver needs to give the refs the green light to referee the bum just like every other player. When he pushes off, call the offensive foul. When he runs up on a referee yelling, call the tech. When he travels a carry, call the damn turnover. It'll also help if these young players stop acting like groupies and run him off the court. Make him play defense on every possession. I bet he'll sit down then. push him out since he won't leave. Shout out to Twin 811. Yeah, I'm starting to get a feeling that might have to happen for the Duck to actually leave the NBA. I'm starting to get a feeling that the Duck really is going to be like the old guy in the club that won't leave. The old guy hanging in the young club, and he's 40 while everybody else is 20. I don't believe LeBron James is going to go willingly out of the NBA. I feel like as long as he can find some team, and as long as he can keep stat patting and making it appear like he's productive, making it appear that way to people who are not watching the games, I got a feeling that LeBron James is really going to stick around for as long as he possibly can. I mean, he was just on an interview the other day, last week or something, where he said, well, I'm not going to play another 10 years, but I'm definitely closer to retirement now than ever. Yeah, LeBron James may try to play another 10 years, people. Don't be surprised. Yeah, you would really think Adam Silver would be pushing to get this guy to the NBA for the simple fact that he knows LeBron James is trying to start a rival league, supposedly. But anyway, what else is new? Adam Silver clearly hasn't had a backbone to make these players do anything. So who knows? People, we probably stuck with Adam Silver for years, and we're probably stuck with the deer for another several years at least. But shout out to Twin 811. Thank you so much for the $5 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to KK1981. It's coming from my Allen Iverson ranks Kobe over LeBron video. I believe Allen Iverson has a new book coming out called Misunderstood, and I actually think I'm going to get that book and check it out. But anyway, he says, my personal top 5 is Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Hakeem Olajuwon. LeBron ain't even in my top 10. If you ask me to put together my own personal dream team, I promise you LeBron James is not on it. Yeah, the only way LeBron James should be on anybody's team is if you are deliberately trying to sabotage yourself. If you are trying to make your team worse, then you add LeBron James. Anyway, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon. I can't argue with that. And see, three out of the 5 are in my top 5. Of course, my top 5 is Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Kareem, Magic, and Bird. Now, I agree. To me, at this point, I have to be honest. LeBron James is not in my top 20. I couldn't fathom writing his name down amongst other players who I actually think is great. And at this point, I've done so many videos about how despicable his actions have been regarding the game of basketball. And yeah, I can't see myself putting him on a list with other players who I actually think is great, no matter how far down the list I get, because unless there's another player who I think has cheated the game the way LeBron James has cheated the game, I wouldn't know where to place LeBron James. So, at this point, as far as ranking LeBron James, he is not available. But shout out to KK1981. Thank you so much for the $10 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to the real Siberius. This is coming from our LeBron James is already going to be out for the next 3 to 4 weeks, people. The season hasn't started, but yet LeBron James has already had 2 injuries. It started with the glute injury, and now he has sciatica, people. LeBron James, if you got 2 injuries before the season start, go ahead and retire. I mean, it's a sign. But anyway, he says, I would love to pat myself on the back and say I called it, but it didn't take any intelligence or clairvoyance to see this coming. If he plays a single game for the Lakers this season, I will be blown away. If LeBron possessed even a modicum of character, class, or integrity, none of this would be happening, but he doesn't, so here we are. I think he will try to force the Lakers' hand to trade him. Sadly, he fails to understand there is nowhere left to go. And I hope this is true. Shout out to the real Siberians. I hope this is true that there is nowhere left for LeBron James to go, but I have a feeling at this point he could probably find some team desperate for some notoriety to draft him. Even if it's going to bring negative talk, it might bring them more publicity than they get otherwise just to have LeBron James on their team. But no team actually thinking about winning. I can't see LeBron James being drafted to any team that really think that they have a shot at winning, because at this point, the cat has to be out of the bag. I mean, it has to be known that LeBron James' production does not equal winning. If we see this as the viewers, as the spectators, it has to be that much more known within NBA circles. Just like we see the alleged juice allegations, but Rick Bucher said that, hey, this is pretty much an accepted thing amongst players and coaches that the guy's doing this. This is what Rick Bucher said. Stephen A. Smith, when him and LeBron was having their back and forth, Stephen A. Smith got on and said, you guys have no idea the things I know about LeBron James, but I can only imagine, because just based off his behavior, we're able to gather so much information from the outside looking in. We're able to see that this guy is despicable, that this guy is selfish, that this guy is passive aggressive. We're able to see all these things from the outside looking in. So for the people in the inner circles, they have to know this. So again, Kevin Durant, who said that LeBron James creates a toxic environment to play in. So again, people see this. So I would be surprised if a contender, if a team that actually had a shot, thought they had a shot at contending, I would be surprised if they would sign the Duck. It would just be highly surprising for me. But I would tell you this, nothing would make me happier than if LeBron requests a trade and can't get one. If he requests a trade and can't get one, I have to do a celebration video. But anyway, shout out to the real Siberians. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. And thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. And for, again, those who haven't checked out the real Siberians, please go over to his channel and check it out and give a like and subscribe. Next up, shout out to the Black Room Experience. Comes through with the $2 super thanks. He says, 10-year-old trapped in a 40-year-old body. That's the perfect way to describe LeBron. It's been a while, just wanted to pop in and show some support. Shout out to the Black Room Experience. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. And thank you for dropping by to show some support. Also, another channel you guys to go check out is the Black Room Experience. Next up, shout out to Mr. Shanny82 coming through with the $5 super thanks. This is coming from my Allen Iverson ranks Kobe over LeBron video. He says, I'm getting tired of the passive aggressive narrative. It's something that Scrubnificent created to hide his mental weakness. And the only time he's supposedly aggressive is against players and teams that he knows he can bully. Yeah, well, that's what front runners do. That is what front runners do. Front runners are only confident, are only cocky when they know they have an advantage. This has been LeBron James' whole career. This is where the whole not one, not two, this is where all this stuff comes from, is because when LeBron James thinks he has the advantage, he talks smack. This is why when they put together that Lakers super duper team with Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard and Rajon Rondo, this is why LeBron James was like, keep that same energy. Because he thought he had the advantage. And when it blew up, then, of course, Russell Westbrook became the scapegoat. But shout out to Mr. Shanny82. Thank you so much for the $5 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to Dr. Les Barrett. And this is coming from LeBron James was sued by one of his fanboys who was so disappointed after he spent all of his hard-earned money to see his GOAT and his GOAT pump fake the retirement. He says LeBron duped his fans off more than that. Shout out to Dr. Les Barrett. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. And last but not least, we got In the Groove 56 coming through one more time with the $2 super thanks. And this is coming from LeBron James. It's already out 3 to 4 weeks, people. LeBron James, you know, the temper tantrum king, the entitled king who, you know, this is really all probably just some pouting because he's no longer the face of the Lakers. Because for the first time in his life, he has to deal with the fact that he is no longer in control. So this is LeBron James' attempt at trying to maintain some control by saying, hey, okay, well, I'm not going to play. Y'all guys want to consult with Luka and not call me and this and that. I'm sitting out. I'm going to just be on cruise control this season and get my $52 million. But anyway, he comes through with the $2 super thanks. He says, clowns of a circus flock together. This is not a traveling carnival where fans spend their hard-earned money to be duped into rigged games that award them mediocre prizes for participation. This injury is a part of his miracle drug cover-up and the exit wound needed to ward off his exposure of being a failed media manipulation of greatness. Fanboys, your exposure to this malicious garbage dumpster, self-proclaimed 4 and 6 kingdom will only destroy what common sense you have less, which let me add, fanboys, that is none. You guys have no common sense left. By the way, fanboys, the Wizard of Oz is a fictional character. The Wizard of Oz is a fictional character, and so is your king, LeBron James fanboys. The Wizard of Oz is fiction, and so is your king's career, LeBron James fanboys. Shout out to In the Groove 56. Yeah, I don't really know what to add to that. I don't really know what to add to that. Yeah, I've definitely heard that this glute injury, that this kind of injury that LeBron James is supposedly suffering from could be an effect of the alleged juice that LeBron James has used to gain his longevity. That is the sole and only point that anyone can come up with for him being the GOAT. Meaning, if that is manufactured, your king is is so far away from GOAT status, which he already is, people. Let's be honest. LeBron James is nowhere near the GOAT conversation. But since mainstream media keeps inserting him into the GOAT conversation, we will continue to keep busting the myths, to destroy the lies, destroy the narratives, and to make sure that the younger generation has the truth and the right perspective on how to look at this, and to understand that LeBron James, the only way he can be in the GOAT conversation is to change what being the GOAT means. The GOAT means greatest of all time, LeBron James fanboys, in case you didn't know. But again, be happy that we have given him the label the Dare. Shout out to Rich Paul. But yeah, I've heard that this injury, it could be the effect of the juice thing. And at this point, what is there to say? I mean, I just don't, at this point, like I said, people who still support LeBron James at this point, like, you guys are officially cult members. Like, that's the only explanation, is that you guys have this blind allegiance, and that is because LeBron James is a representation of you. He's a reflection of you. You support LeBron James because the things that LeBron James doesn't bother you. You don't care that he's cheated the game. And that is because you would want to be you would want to receive full credit even if you cheated to get where you get in life. You would want that same notoriety. You would just want people to overlook how you got there and to just say, oh, congratulations, you're this or you're that. But never mind the fact that you took the helicopter to the top while other people actually had to climb the mountain. We're going to treat you with the same respect. This is what you guys want, but that's not how life works. You can't have it. You are ridiculous. So is your king. When your king retires, I hope you guys got a plan for how you're going to deal with the grief, because it is going to be hard, and we will show you no sympathy over here. Shout out to In the Groove 56. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. And thank you to each and every one of you who continue to support the channel. I truly cannot thank you all enough. As I always say at the end of these videos, please continue to support all of the content creators who are giving you their real and honest opinions that are not bought and paid for. Please continue to support the content creators who are out here working to destroy the lives so that the younger generation can have the real information. Shout out to Angry Old Hoops, Sports and Fitness Rants, Uncut Hoops, Man Down Sports, Sports Tea, The Real Siberians. Shout out to the Black Room Experience. Shout out to Scap Attack. Shout out to Too Raw for Sports, Ticket TV, Brandon Love Sports. Shout out to The Real Mind Crime. Shout out to The Basketball Show. And anybody else, shout out to 93Z. Anybody else who I may be forgetting, please drop them in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about any of the comments that were left here today. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.